What's up, baby dolls? We're going to be doom scrolling Twitteroonies, you and me together. The first thing we have is Ashon Forbes with the Malaysia MH370 Freedom of Information Act request, which I find very funny. The government's not going to hand over the stuff we want them to. Ashton is the man who's been researching and has pretty much confirmed Malaysia MH370, the plane was zapped out of the sky. We do have the UFO tech. $21 trillion was missing for a reason by the US government. All of these happening our way and more. Also confirming crypto's got a pump. If all these money units are circulating out here for this secret, deep UFO tech reverse engineering, it has to mean crypto to 10 trillion. We're going to make it. Robin, P-Dye. Now I know we said no more countdowns, but only the strong will survive. So Liberty Swap says higher. The 8-day countdown has begun. So today marks the end of the other countdown. Now they've just done another countdown. So that's, now you get to see why, friends. I don't give any weight to any countdown. They're all fugazi. 9 out of 10 of them, they just never work. It's all, I consider it as complete psyops. So countdowns, if you think about it from a manipulation and controlling the narrative perspective, if someone just keeps saying something big's going to happen in 4 days, okay, then it like gets you hyped up and then it doesn't. It gets you hyped up and it doesn't. Someone's just trying to control the narrative and to spit stuff, right, to keep throwing you off track. Right, that's what maybe its intention is. But we'll see how it all plays out. Mr. DeFi Tricks. It was Catty who pushed the button. It was Maria who pushed the button. It was Viet Dong who pushed the button. It was Richard Hart, you fools, who pushed the button. Maybe. Button. Obviously, he's talking about P-Dye out here because talking about conspiracies, friends. I mean, P-Dye is the motherload of conspiracies sitting at around 0.5 cents. Also, I think it's time for us to maybe have a look as well, friends. Remember, PulseChain PLS itself, because everything's bonded to it, as we all know. PLS rising is healthy for everyone. It's been ticking down. Once again, doing some janky retraces. Nothing really exciting to report on here. We need Ethereum to keep cranking up higher. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but what can we do, man? We got to keep waiting. Hopefully, the good times are around the corner. Here we have Kale. FartCoin volume always has and probably will rival top 10 coins. Think about that for a second. A coin with a market cap of 1.7 billion is doing similar volume to Doge at 40 billion. And that's been doing that for almost a year. What do you think happens next? So Kale is obviously bullish on FartCoin. FartCoin is like, it's one of the, I guess, the chosen fun memes of Soylana, as Soylana beta. I think it's actually interesting. Maybe we'll look at the ratio now. And while we're at it, this is Bonk, friends. Bonk Sol. This is the Bonk Sol ratio. So it's actually doing well. It made up and it's made a nice higher floor. I know these things, they're actually, I know it's making lower highs. Actually, hopefully this does crank up here, but this is pretty much it. So what we can do is you can look at FartCoin versus the Sol ratio. And it's got a cracker chart. Wow, that's like the BNB ETH chart. That's huge, man. So here is FartCoin went up here and it's cranking up here. Wow, man, this is super strong, man. This is really strong. That's amazing. This is from March this year. Whoa, this went up 4x. It's up to the highs in Sol. So I guess that's the chosen one. The thing though is it's pure momentum play. Like here's the thing, friends. If you're gonna get into FartCoin here, like there's probably gonna be resistance up here. That's 60%. You see, so you get no glory in like buying stuff when it's already up. By the way, you know, right here, this is when P-Dye was collapsing. So from here to here, I mean, it's up 70%. P-Dye's up 2,000%, literally 20x. So look, here's the thing. I can't compare everything to P-Dye because it's like an amazing unicorn, but it just shows you like you only have a limited amount of capital allocation units. Unipix, this is the Bonk Guy. Looks like a cat is popping somewhere right now. It must be referring to one of the cat coins, meme coins and everything out here. Maybe these things start to come alive more. Here we have Dennis. Will Ethereum hit 10K in 2025? Ethereum is floating at 3,800, but is it too late or are we just getting started? Of course, we hope it goes to this 7,200 macro level plus. But yeah, man, I guess it's all up to the stars themselves. I would like to buy some meme coins that end in bonk. I haven't added any new conviction plays in a while. What's a long-term hold of yours that's launched on BonkFun? So remember on Soylana, there's PumpFun. Its market share is being eaten aggressively by BonkFun. BonkFun is just another token launcher. Yeah, 99% of it, it's all the same stuff, rugging and everything out here. But With BonkFun, I guess it seems more lighthearted and fun. And pretty much what's happened is, this is what's happened, friends. The casino's spiraling down. So all the losers who've been sucking on the toe jam of the LA Vape Cabal, they've lost all their money, they're grifted, right? And they're worshipping, pretty much, they're worshipping the LA Vape Cabal, who are literally laughing at them all the way to the bank. And what ends up happening is now they're like, you know what? This casino sucks. I want to go somewhere else. So the closest casino to that is BonkFun. They just go to another website in their Phantom wallet. But it's not the answer to all their problems then. What's the answer to your problems is believing in something. But they're not going to do that because they're here, friends. You see every coin fashion direct, or every story, it's like, oh, I traded here and I traded there. It is your first problem, bro. Your first problem is you're thinking of exiting before you even enter, right? That means you're not thinking big enough, right? If you're looking for stuff where you can actually see the target on the chart already, you're like, oh, you know, upper 2x, and 99% of them fail. Top 3 picks. Mog, Ethereum's mascot, with Pepe at 1/10 the price. Popcat, cat season. FartCoin. Volume, Behemoth, no Binance. Awesome. So remember, we have Mog on PulseChain as well. Mog on Ethereum, Mog on PulseChain. They're all like standard, a new culture. Memes, cults, religions. It's all cranking over here. Here we have Mr. Dirty Crypto with some more PDI conspiracy.
Like, no, not another fashion stream. I want PulseChain updates. You'll get PulseChain updates, but really they just boil down to waiting on devs. So I can tell you that we're waiting on devs now, or I can tell you we're waiting on devs later. There's 14 devs. We're waiting on them.
Interesting. So Richard Hart said there's 14 devs. And Liberty Swap says, we are a team of 15, including one media intern who works 18 hours a day. Huh. I say 18 hours a day. That's my word. Interesting. Huh? Am I on the team? Am I on the team without knowing? Makes you think. Don't let your hopes go up, friends, because there's a lot of psyops out here. Here we have Coin Guru speaking about a new coin. He's probably going to sell on a 2x and not tell you about it later. Block, comparing to World Liberty Finance. Friends, you're going to see a lot of this stuff. I just want to remind you, man, a lot of these people post these charts and this stuff. What they don't tell you is they're literally getting out on a 2 or 3x. They're covering their half. They don't talk about it, and then it's up to you, okay? Which is okay. There's thousands of coins out there like that, but that's not going to move the needle for you, man. You need a big thesis. You need a thesis that you have to hold and believe. Grok just said that Bitcoin is going to $1 million by 2029. I hope it does. I just don't, you know, but let's get through this one first, all right, before we talk about, you know, there's other cycles and stuff out here. This train only runs in one direction. Awesome. Thomas the Tank Engine, #1. Join Zora. So everyone's coming out here, shilling their bags. It's good. It's awesome to see. Here we have some words of wisdom from Mr. Anderson. From the Matrix, money is a tool, not the goal. The goal is freedom. Always remember that. Very good point. Let's just pump, bro. You know what I mean? Before we get into like philosophical things, can we just start pump first? You know what I mean? Just pump first. Pump first. Give me the dopamine. Then we can speak about that philosophical stuff later. Here we have the Soylana founder, Anatoly. We discussed decentralization with the co-founder. Soylana has always been about decentralization, about how blocks are made, how transactions are recorded, where it counts. Well, explain the poop pyramid then. Here we go. By trading acts. So if you're a bit new, 22, the way this works is Ethereum drags up Bitcoin and Ethereum consolidates. Bitcoin then drags up ETH and Bitcoin consolidates. Rinse and repeat until a blow off top. Kind of, yeah. It's not really. It's kind of, you know, just like we said, friends, there's Bitcoin, which correlates to the global M2 money supply, 89.5% on 3-month intervals. And then you have everything else. The everything else also includes Ethereum now, which is sad. It breaks my heart. I thought Ethereum was creeping into the Bitcoin part. This cycle proves it's not. This cycle so far, as business ISM went down, Ethereum got crushed. That's it. Unequivocally, that's pretty much, we can't argue with that. That's why I'll show it to you again. As the business cycle, which I always report here for you, we have the business ISM right here. As it went down, Ethereum gets cucked, okay? Here's 2023, cucked. You're below 50 for a long time. And because you're my friend, I've actually got the ETH BTC ratio here. You see that? There you go. Ethereum correlating down, business ISM cycle down so far. I hope this changes in the future, but for now, it's not. For now, yes. Even though Bitcoin does nothing, it's special. It is just special. But don't worry about that part. You know, we've had 32 months of business ISM below 50. The next part's going to surprise everyone. Max Kaiser blasts Trump's $2 billion Bitcoin play. He's front-running Americans. So I guess what he's saying is everyone in America, they're going to have to keep printing money, and he's front-running them. I believe, is what I'm going to be doing, watch Donald Trump's holdings for the family as the bull market progresses. We'll probably get reports that they're selling over time. They've already sold 25% of their World Liberty Finance allocation. So they've got 75% remaining, you know? So if they sell the next part, it'll be like, hey, we're heading up, right? They've already sold a quarter. Jezza, I shall continue Max Retardio bull posting on every dip that shakes out the over-leveraged and non-believers. Such is the luxury of being positioned far lower. Looks weak? No, you're weak. Friends, it sounds like a trader, man. You see, that's what they say, friends. People who are like long and the market's gone up for like 30 days, they're like, ha ha ha, here's my jokes to like add to the comedy. I'm not thinking like that, man. Like, you know, like I'm in it. I'm balls deep. We believe, you know what I mean? We're believing and we're holding. You know, like we don't care about, oh, the market's gone up, ha ha ha. Like, because you've seen it just come down 50,000 times. So, yeah, man, look, all will be revealed at the end of the cycle. It doesn't make much sense to think we won't get some sort of NFT run-up. People want to gamble on poop that can go up. Yes, NFTs, man, they deserve a comeback. Which NFTs do? The Bored Apes. You know, friends, CryptoPunks, they're just 50% off their high in ETH. Do you know that? The floor is still like 40 ETH. The high was like 100 and something. Like, it's not even like 95% down. You know, it's super strong. So that's CryptoPunks, right? It's like the Bitcoin of them. Here we have Andrew Forte. I just spent $12 at Starbucks for 2 coffees. How do you guys do this nonsense every day? And he reposted himself. Well done, sir. Well done. Save those cups of coffee, brother, because we're going to have some hot, dirty, stinking old season. Michael, Spain has the highest youth unemployment rate in Europe, making it tough for young people to start families. Can someone please explain the logic of Spain taking the most immigrants in Europe last year? Seems like a strange decision. I think, friends, the man behind the curtain has been revealed now. All your politicians in most of your countries who vote for the massive amounts of immigration, you know where they're coming from, man. You know where they're coming from. They're trying to whitewash everyone. They're trying to dilute races. Okay? You know what's happening. It's very obvious. How come I go and ask... Friends, it's funny. I haven't met a single person who's like, dude, bring on more immigrants. Totally. I've met one single person. The funniest part, friends, is the burn the bridge phenomena, where when I speak to immigrants, friends, most of the immigrants themselves, my parents are immigrants, right? You know what they say? Truck them, burn the bridge, don't let the other scum in. Which is funny, they all say it. All of them, even the ones just got here, they're just like, nah, screw them. It's kind of funny, right? Because like, oh, they're going to ruin it, they're going to bring their junk here. Don't ruin it over here. It's so nice and peaceful. It is funny. So, but honestly, we got to look at another thing as well. The only way to keep the Fiat Ponzi going is higher immigration. Okay, or we don't have enough babies. That's why I'm just presenting facts. Okay, so on one hand, is there a conspiracy to dilute our races, so certain races are not diluted? Okay, and they're trying to like dilute these countries with what, you know, people who may look down on them. Because is it that? Could be, but also I've given you an economic reason. We're literally not having enough babies. All right, so because we're not having enough babies, why we aren't having enough babies, friends? It's a multitude of reasons. And yeah, I don't care if you're blue pill cuck, it relates to non-human intelligence as well. We're being manipulated, controlled. Our testosterone levels have been literally collapsing over time. Testosterone levels are going down. And we have 1,000, we would call them distractions, but they're just ways to get dopamine. You know, you can watch 50,000 TV channels. You have your phone, you connect, social stuff. There's gambling everywhere. There's 50,000 things you can do to get dopamine. You know, I think if you have fornications with another human, I think the dopamine units, I think it's like 500. I think it was 400 to 500 units, right? I think And meth was something over like 2,000. I forgot exactly. I think chocolate was like 200 units. I think sunlight's maybe 80 or 100 units. Brushing your teeth is like 40 units. I forgot the exact measurements, but you got to think about it. You're getting all these dopamine units. Kind of funny when you think about it. We're literally just inside a video game when you think about it. That's your HP bar. For instance, you ever play the games? You play Dark Souls, like you're losing your stamina and you just got to wait amount of time. Yeah, man, like we do that naturally. It's just that it's all happening subconsciously. We don't even think about it. So you're getting sunlight, feeling good, listen to music, gives you a bit of dopamine as well. Free dopamine out here. Of course, eating sugar. So we're just accessing dopamine and all these other things from all these other places. So you're like, you know what? I don't need to go kind of have sex and like move my body and do all these things out here because I'm getting, 50 dopamines here, 100 dopamine here, 20 dopamine here, and your testosterone levels are dropping. So what this all automatically means is crypto's going to pump because they have to print more money. So no matter where, if they're immigrating, friends, immigration, it's not stopping anytime soon. There's more people, money supply is growing up, higher, it's exploding, and so we basically crank higher. Crypto has to basically reprice higher over time, which is amazing. Here we have a message from my friend Victor. How to blow up. Holding onto a losing short position. Incredibly dangerous. Your brain will block you from cutting it once the negative unrealized P&L goes large enough. And that's where the real trouble begins because the size of your losing short is increasing as you are already deeply underwater. Truly a recipe for disaster. And a pairs trade can lead to this outcome if the short leg goes up very wrong. Always favor survival over anything else. So this is referring to, friends, Joe McMahon. Okay, Joe McMahon. He's basically, do you remember, friends? I've called it Juicy News in update. His fund, someone's down and says like 80% or something out here. Wow, year to date 80%. But he's actually replied here going, the asymmetric fund is not down 80%. As communicated, we've been carefully executing what we believe to be a highly profitable strategy for farming the second hyperliquid airdrop by placement and subsequent intentional liquidation of market orders on the exchange. Oh my gosh. Okay, so... oh, man. That might turn into a meme later on. They go, we are farming. I didn't actually lose $140 million. I'm just farming the next hyperliquid airdrop, okay? It's just, yes, friends, look. Basically, he's short Ethereum under 2,000 with aggressive size, and they're long soy. So they're basically, they're long Sol ETH ratio, short Ethereum. And like I said, man, like, yeah, he hit it big with his fund. They got bonk early. So they got bonk, they correctly predicted Soylana, and they got the leverage on Soylana. Do you know, if PDI works out, it's the same thing, by the way. It's actually infinitely higher return compared to it. Yeah, so imagine you're like, oh, PulseChain's undervalued, so I'm going to get the leverage on PulseChain. That could be Hex PLS going up. That's PulseX Pulse going up. That's Inc Pulse going up. That's PDI Pulse rocketing up. But also, it's like getting your MOG and your PTGC and everything else out here, and your Pika, your Pokemons and everything. It's a similar concept. But obviously, only Soylana has had the sun shining on it until maybe what happens next. Okay, here we have YZ. Literally, this happened to me. I was one pump too early to shorting a Pico top, and I had to close about 75% of the position at the next pump before it finally crashed 50%. Yet I came out worse off than if I had never shorted at all. My sizing was way too wrong, essentially. So you can do whatever you want. Okay, I've got the straightest posture in the northern, southern, eastern, and western hemisphere, so my opinion should matter a bit, but it's not everything. I'm just telling you now, you shouldn't be looking for shorts in a bull market, dude. You just shouldn't. By the time you look for the short, everything's dropped 60% and you're going to short the lower high. You're basically shorting the back end of the parabola because it's crypto, man. It's crypto, friends. And we've been waiting 4.5 years. Like, if you're getting short, man, you got to understand, like, there's only strong hands left in altcoins. And you still have Joe McMahon fighting Ethereum. You still have Ben Copen fighting Ethereum, fighting altcoins. Right? You still have all these KOLs. Everyone's still fighting the crap out of everything. So, like, you might find yourself getting damaged by, like, a hated pump. And it's a deservedly hated pump. But we'll see. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.